There are legends in the U.S. military. Men and women whose stories are whispered quietly, because speaking too loudly feels like tempting fate. And then, there are the ones whose stories are erased, classified so high that even admirals don't know their names. Until one day, they show up. On United War, this is the story of one such woman. The woman who stunned an entire Navy base with just one sentence. SOCOM Commander. The morning sun burned brightly over Naval Amphibious Base Coronado, California, the home of U.S. Navy SEALs. A fresh batch of elite recruits stood in formation, sweat dripping under the weight of training packs. Today was inspection day, the day they met one of the highest-ranking special operations leaders on American soil. But instead of a known general or famous SEAL war hero, a mysterious figure approached. Her footsteps were silent, her face calm, her uniform completely unmarked. No rank, no identifiers, just black, the kind that screams secrecy. The SEAL Admiral in charge, Admiral Preston Hale, a giant of a man with metal stretching from shoulder to shoulder, glanced at her with amused confusion. "New personnel?" he joked, raising a brow. "Mind telling us your rank, ma'am?" The recruits snickered quietly. Some whispered, "Probably some intel officer," or "logistics. No SEAL would dress like that." But she didn't smirk, didn't hesitate. She simply replied, "Sir, Joint Special Operations Command, Deputy Commander, reporting by SOCOM Authority." The Admiral's face changed instantly. The laugh died, the blood drained from his cheeks, because SOCOM, United States Special Operations Command, doesn't send deputy commanders anywhere unless the mission needs the most deadly person available. The recruits froze. Their boots seemed to sink into the concrete. The woman standing in front of them wasn't a guest. She wasn't a support officer. She wasn't someone to underestimate. Her name was Commander Alex Morgan, the first woman in U.S. history to covertly lead joint special operations across Navy, Army, Air Force, and Marines. Highly classified, highly dangerous, highly capable. A ghost brought into the light. Admiral Hale recovered his composure barely. "Commander Morgan, we weren't informed of your arrival." She nodded once, controlled, perfectly calm. "That was the point, sir." Hale understood what that meant immediately. This was not a routine check. She was here with a mission. He turned to the recruits, suddenly nervous to speak loudly. "Recruits, eyes forward! Show respect!" The formation snapped to attention so fast boots clapped like gunshots. But Commander Morgan didn't even glance at them yet. Her attention remained on Hale. He cleared his throat, trying to regain authority. "May I ask why SOCOM sent you here? Coronado hasn't received new operational orders." Morgan's voice lowered, a warning hidden beneath professionalism. "There's been a breach. Information leaked. Someone here has accessed black-level data." The Admiral's eyes widened. Data at that classification wasn't just top secret. It could compromise global counter-terror operations. Morgan stepped forward, finally facing the recruits. Her eyes were sharp, calculated. Some men looked away instantly. Others stared in challenge. She recognized both types. She had led those who were fearless and buried those who were foolish. She said, "You're training to become SEALs, but a real operator isn't defined by muscles or bravado." She paused, letting the silence become pressure. A real operator is defined by discipline, secrecy, and sacrifice. One recruit, wide-shouldered, cocky, smirked. "Ma'am, with respect, what do you know about SEAL sacrifice?" Hale's heart stopped. Morgan's eyes locked on the young man. She spoke softly, deadly calm. I've held dying operators in my arms on 3 continents, extracted men from compounds no map has ever recorded, and ordered missions no human should have to carry. The recruit's smirk disappeared. Everyone felt that chill. Morgan took one more step, now close enough that they could see the faint scars carved across her knuckles. I don't wear a trident, because I build the missions that make SEALs legends. The recruits swallowed. Hard. Hale exhaled slowly. This woman wasn't here to inspire them. She was here to test them. And many would fail. Morgan turned to Hale. Lock down the base, full operational security. He nodded. No hesitation anymore. Yes, Commander. She faced the recruits again. If someone here is betraying this country, I will find them. Slowly, she removed a sealed black case from her side and placed it on the ground. Inside it, proof of what was coming. A mission, a threat, and a truth that would shake these recruits to their core.
The room fell into a silence so sharp it felt like the walls themselves were holding their breath. The Admiral's forced laugh evaporated as quickly as it came. His eyes searched her uniform again, now noticing the insignias he had overlooked. This wasn't a joke, not a test, not a misunderstanding. Commander Helena Avery, SOCOM Commander, the woman responsible for joint special operations missions across multiple branches, the youngest officer to ever hold that title. Even the SEALs, the toughest men in the world, lowered their gazes in quiet respect. But Helena didn't bask in their awe. She simply nodded to the Admiral and said, "Sir, I'm here to debrief my team before extraction." Her tone was firm, but controlled, the voice of a leader who didn't need to shout to be obeyed. Flashback. How she earned the rank. The narrator shifts the audience back in time. Years earlier, she wasn't a legend yet. She was just a young pilot with a reputation for being too calm under fire. On a covert coalition mission in hostile territory, a team of U.S. Navy SEALs had been trapped behind enemy lines, pinned down, outnumbered, and losing ground fast. Command told her to retreat. She refused. Instead, she flew her attack helicopter directly into a storm of enemy fire, drawing the attackers away from the SEALs. When the chopper took a hit and went down, she didn't stop. Crawling from the burning wreckage, she grabbed a fallen SEAL's rifle and led the counterattack herself. 3 hours of brutal close-quarters fighting. She held the line until reinforcements arrived. That day, she saved all 7 men. She was promoted on the spot and instantly earned a reputation. The commander who would never leave anyone behind. Back to the present, the mission at hand. Inside the briefing room, a holographic map flickers on. The Admiral tries to recover his authority, but Helena is already leading. She circles the map, pointing to enemy strongholds with calm precision. There is a rogue weapons faction operating off-grid. They possess stolen hypersonic missile technology. Their leader calls himself Viper. A murmur ripples through the SEAL platoon. The name was infamous, a ghost who had eluded every attempt to capture him. Helena continues, "We have one chance, one shot. If Viper escapes again, he will trigger a global crisis." A soldier raises his hand, nervous but curious. "Ma'am, why you?" Her eyes narrow, not in anger, but in memory. "Because Viper used to be one of ours." Her voice tightens. "I trained him." Another shockwave in the room. A traitor, a rogue prodigy, a personal war. Helena clenches her fists, remembering the betrayal, remembering the lives lost. The team reacts. The SEAL operators sit straighter now. This isn't just another briefing. It's a fight that matters. The Admiral clears his throat and speaks carefully. "Commander Avery, your orders?" Helena looks at them, each man she may need to trust with her life. "We leave at 0400, full stealth insertion. We take Viper alive if we can. If not..." She pauses. The weight of leadership glimmers in her eyes. "We end this." Scene closer. The commander walks out. As Helena leaves the room, the SEALs glance at each other. One whispers under his breath, "She's the real deal." Another replies, "She's the one they call Iron Phoenix, the one who comes back from the dead." The Admiral watches her walk away, not with arrogance, not with swagger, but with the quiet confidence of someone who has already paid the price of command. And tomorrow, she may pay it again.
Night fell hard on the coast. The moon was a thin silver blade hanging over black, restless waters. A stealth helicopter skimmed low above the waves, just 3 meters from the surface, invisible to radar, a ghost in the darkness. Inside, Commander Helena Avery sat across from the SEAL team. Their faces were nearly hidden behind night vision goggles and black tactical paint, but their eyes kept drifting back to her. They had heard the stories, but tonight they would see the truth. The helicopter pilot's voice crackled through comms. 60 seconds out! Brace! Helena tightened her gloves and checked her suppressed sidearm. She wasn't just commanding this mission, she was leading the insertion herself. The men understood what that meant. She would never order them anywhere she wasn't willing to go. With a silent splash, the team hit the icy waters and swam toward an isolated shoreline defended by cliffs. The enemy compound, Viper's base, lay hidden deep within. Helena reached the beach first and signaled the team forward. No hesitation, no fear, just purpose. As they moved inland, night vision lenses revealed a forest of motion sensors and automated turrets. Viper wasn't underestimating anyone. But he didn't expect her. With surgical precision, Helena disabled the first sensor, a delicate twist of wires and pitch darkness. The SEALs watched with newfound respect. One whispered, "She's done this before." Another responded quietly, "She survived worse." A pair of enemy sentries emerged from the shadows, heavily armed and hyper-alert. Before a SEAL could react, Helena raised her suppressed rifle. Poof! Poof! 2 clean shots, both enemies down before they could breathe. The SEALs exchanged looks, impressed and slightly intimidated. Helena signaled again, "Keep moving, we're close." The air grew thick with tension as they crawled toward the base perimeter, towering steel walls lined with razor wire and watchtowers. The mission had just begun. Viper strikes back. Suddenly, alarms. Floodlights exploded to life. Someone had tripped a hidden sensor. The night erupted in gunfire. Tracers ripped through trees like lightning. The team dove for cover behind rocks and fallen logs. Helena didn't flinch. She aimed upward. One shot. A spotlight shattered into darkness. Another. A tower guard collapsed. Her voice cut through chaos. "Push forward! Suppression fire!" The SEALs obeyed instantly, instinctively, as if they had fought under her command 100 times before. But the enemy was prepared. Dozens of soldiers flooded the perimeter, barking orders in a foreign tongue. Then, a chilling voice echoed from loudspeakers. "Well, well, Iron Phoenix returns." Helena froze. Viper. Even the SEALs could sense the shift, a past wound ripped open. The end began with a single kind of violence, a stinging release. A battle of shadows. The firefight intensified. The team sprinted through a gap Helena created with controlled grenades, walls collapsing just enough for entry. Inside the facility, lights flickered, sirens wailed. It was a maze of metal corridors and sealed blast doors. The radio operator called out, "Commander, extraction point compromised. We're locked in." Helena stared ahead, jaw firm. "We came here to hunt. We're not leaving without Viper." Revelation. Inside the central control room, screens flickered with surveillance feeds. Viper appeared, not physically, but on a monitor. He looked older now, battle-hardened, scar over one eye, but the arrogance remained. "Helena," he taunted, "you should have joined me. Together we could have changed everything." Her reply was cold. "You changed nothing, except the flag on your paycheck." He laughed. "And you still believe your system cares for you? You're fighting for people who would abandon you the moment you become inconvenient." A shadow crossed her face. This wasn't just war. This was betrayal from someone she once trusted, someone she once believed in. Viper leaned closer to the camera. "Come find me, Commander. Let's finish what we started." The screen went dark. Closing scene. The hardest path ahead. Helena turned to the SEALs, flames reflecting in her eyes from a burning corridor behind them. "Gear up," she ordered. "He wants a fight, we'll give him one." The men nodded, solid, united. Any doubt about her leadership had been erased in gunfire and courage. She wasn't just a commander now, she was the spearhead of vengeance and justice, and tomorrow the world would either see Viper fall or the legend of Iron Phoenix burn out forever.
Sirens screamed through the underground base, echoing like steel thunder. Flames licked the hallways. The ground trembled beneath their boots. Viper wasn't running anymore. He was preparing to launch hell. Commander Helena Avery and the SEAL team rushed deeper toward a massive silo door that had begun to slide open. A vibration grew stronger with each step, the unmistakable rumble of a missile igniting. A nuclear-capable hypersonic missile. If it launched, millions would die. There would be no second chance. Helena signaled the team. Breach. Boom. The charge blew the door inward, smoke rolling like a beast unleashed. Inside the silo, soldiers poured in from catwalks above, firing down in a hailstorm of bullets. The SEALs returned fire, precise, coordinated, but they were outnumbered 10-1. Helena sprinted along a maintenance rail, using the chaos as cover. She leapt from one level to another, landing with the grace of someone who'd defied death before. There, at the launch control console, stood Viper. Weapon drawn, smile deadly. "Helena, you always rush into danger." His voice was too calm for a man about to end the world. Her gun stayed locked on him. "You don't have to do this." "Oh, but I do," Viper replied. "This is the only way they will listen. The only way the world changes." He tapped a button. Missile launch countdown. 0200. The room shook as the rocket engine roared alive. Helena fired, not at Viper, but at a fuel line overhead. A burst of steam blinded the area. Viper lunged forward with knife in hand, targeting her throat. Steel clashed, sparks illuminated their faces as their blades collided in a furious dance. They moved like shadows, trained by the same master, forged in the same wars. Every strike carried history. Trust shattered, brotherhood broken, a family destroyed. "You taught me to fight," Viper growled. "And I learned that loyalty is a weakness." "No," she countered, locking his arm. "Loyalty is the reason I'm still here." She flipped him with brutal precision. He crashed against the platform railing, nearly falling into the silo abyss. But Viper wasn't finished. He grabbed her vest and pulled her down with him. They dangled together above the roaring missile. The SEALs tried to advance, but enemy reinforcements surged again. Gunfire roared from every direction. Below, the countdown blazed. 0400, 039, 038. Viper smirked, sweat burning his eyes. "We both die here, Helena. History won't remember you." She stared into the flames rising beneath them and saw something he never understood. Hope. For the world, for her team, for every life she fought to protect. Her voice was steady. "They already will." With a final surge of strength, she released his grip and kicked off the railing. Viper plummeted, screaming, disappearing into fire and smoke. Dendar countdown. Final seconds. Helena pulled herself up, blood streaking her gear, lungs burning. She sprinted back to the console. 0100, 09, 08. She tore open a panel, sparks flying.
wires tangled like a hidden puzzle of chaos. 04, 03. She found the failsafe and slammed her hand on the abort lever. 02, 01. Abort. The engine died. Silence swallowed the room. Rescue teams arrived hours later. The fire was out. The war, for now, was over. Helena stood outside the destroyed facility, morning sun cutting across her face. The SEALs approached, helmets off, eyes full of deep respect. One of them, the youngest, stepped forward. "Ma'am, we wouldn't have made it without you." She gave a faint smile, the kind only warriors who've lost too much can give. The Admiral arrived next, the same man who once mocked her. He saluted first. "Commander Avery, the world owes you a debt we can never repay." But she shook her head. It's not the world that matters. It's the people in it. That was her truth. Duty wasn't about glory. It was about those who returned home because she didn't give up. As the team boarded the extraction helicopter, a final shot lingers. Helena standing alone for a moment, wind lifting her hair. Sunrise glinting off her SOCOM insignia. A warrior who had defeated a nightmare. A leader who would always run toward the danger if it meant saving others. Commander Helena Iron Phoenix. The woman who silenced a missile. The traitor who underestimated her, and every doubt anyone ever had about her worth. The helicopter took off, and the world breathed again.